Blessed love, royal family, give thanks for life and the life giver. This is the African Liberation Network, and I'm Prophet Daniel, the host. Today we have a special broadcast, to help to advertise and spread the word about an upcoming series of events and classes from, our honorable brother, General Thau-Thau Haramanuba, the Grand Master of the Baki Hase Society, and also, the Grand Master of the Bantu Soul Society. And he has, a few things coming up. So we wanted to help, get the word out there so more and more ones can be aware and also, participate and support and strengthen, the works that the brother is doing. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce Honorable General Thau-Thau, Blessed Love King.
Blessed love, Honorable Prophet Daniel, even to the viewers of the African Liberation Network. Blessed love in the name of His Majesty Rastafari. Give thanks even for the platform and the moment once more. Give thanks, Honorable Rastafari. Blessed love.
Rastafari. Yes, so first and foremost, you have an ancestral walk coming up in South Africa. We would love to know more about that. What, where will it be? What places will you be attending? Who's invited? What, when, what, the cost and everything, whatever information you would like to share, so more and more ones can be aware.
Okay, no, give thanks, Honorable. As the Bantu Soul Society, we're having different programs and packages. We're having online classes, we're having workshops, and then we're also having the Ancestral Walk. Now, the Ancestral Walk, it's a 5 days tour, which is covering 7 to 8, actually 7 heritage sites. These are the part that form what they refer to as the Southern Cradle. We had them at one time in history, we were told of the Mesopotamian cradle, where the Europeans told us that life first began in Mesopotamia, and then coming up with the writings like cuneiform and the invention of the wheel, that civilization began between the two rivers, the Euphrates and the Tigris. But then later it was disputed when they discovered the East African cradle, the bones of Dinknesh, or what the white men call Lucy in Ethiopia, the 3.2 million years old. Therefore, it shifted the focus of the Eastern cradle, and then later there are more cradle found, but then there was more contending views developing about the Southern cradle, like the place called Inzalo Yelanga, what the white men called Adam's calendar, which is about 300,000 years old, basically older than ancient Kemet, the 3,000 years old stone calendar that is found in Southern Africa, which now for the past few years, every African New Year, which will be the 22nd or 23rd September, there is some pilgrimages going there to see the sun rising. That is the marking of the spring equinox, so which is celebrated here in the Southern Hemisphere as the African New Year, the beginning of the year. So, which is also in our language is called Inzalo Yelanga, which means the birthplace of the sun. So, and then we have the 75,000 years old Bantu temples that are found in Mpumalanga, which is at the Eco Caves, the Sudwala Caves, where they have the place called the God's Window and all of that, which is some caves. Very big caverns, actually. Just a portal to the underworld, that there was some life going on underground there. So there are those remnants. So and then we have the 1.9 million years old hominid found also here in South Africa called Homo naledi at a place called Maroping, which translate a place of origin. And then we have 3.5 billion years old specimen of life evolution and existing in Southern Africa called the Barberton Rock, which was found also in a city in South Africa called Barberton, in a town called Barberton. Mm-hmm. And then we have another place called Makapan Valley, where they have about 3.5 billion years old evidence of proto-humans and human evolution. So what they call the proto-human and the human evolution. So some of these things are consistent with our oral tradition, the stories of our ancestors, as were told from generation to generation, not as were written by the Europeans or the European scholars, anthropologists, sociologists, archaeologists who have always been documenting our stories. But some of these stories are consistent with our oral tradition as narrated by our ancestors. One of them, I can go as far back as the beginning of the Rastafari movement, where Leonard Howell talks about, in the Promise Key, Leonard Howell talks about that we are a quadrillion years old people, that we are eternal. We come from eternity to eternity. We have no beginning. We have always existed. So this is consistent with our African, this is how I can relate then Rastafari with our African oral tradition, that this stuff, some of them are found in our African oral tradition, which state that we have always been here. We are as old as the sun, and no one knows how old is the sun. We're the people of the sun. We're the tears of the sun. You go to Kemet cosmology, ancient Kemet, they tell you that we were created from the tears of the sun, the tears of Atum, the god Atum. So we're children of the sun, we're people of the sun, and we're as old as the sun. As long as they've been the sun, we've been here. And the more further you go back in history, you found the evidence of our existence, which is lending credence to this assertion that we're eternal people, we come from eternity to eternity. So we have several places of origin in Southern Africa, considering that every out of the 3,000 tribes that we have here in Africa, among the Bantu people, all of them, they have a name for God. All of them, they have a God concept. And all of them, they have their natural genesis. They have somewhere they point to you that this is where life began. This is where we come from. We come from this. Some they point you to some. Largely, it is pointing to the fact that we are inner terrestrials, not extraterrestrials. We come from the belly of the earth, from the inside of the earth. So you have those caves that go deep into the earth, and they point to you that this is where we came from. This is where the first people came from. Like you go to Muchudi in Botswana, you find a place called Haluwe, where they have footprints on the rocks. You go to Mpumalanga, they have giant footprints on the rocks. They say these footprints were made when the rocks were still soft, when the rocks were forming up. Those are the footprints of a god or a man who was leading the people.
Pardon me, King. When you say giant, how big do you mean? How big are the footsteps?
Some are very big, like big footsteps. You know,
like elephant foot, or like what? How big?
Very big, like 1 meter, half a meter. They differ in size. Yeah, they differ in sizes. Some serious big one, and then there is another one in Venda where we covering is the areas that we are covering for heritage sites, which is the size of everyone. You put your feet in there, it fits. I put mine, it fits. It's just a size of anyone. And they refer to it as the footprint of Mwali. And now Ngwale is the Bavenda name for God. So this foot, it fit everyone who put their feet there. And then we have the breathing stone, where you just find the stone is breathing. So they call it the breathing stone. So these are part of the heritage site. But this particular, like I said, we have heritage sites spread all over the country based on our heritage and our ethnic evolution, where our people point differently to their evolution, that they come from here, and then this particular group of people come from here. But these are all evidence of the fact that Africa is our continent. Anywhere you point at, we have a point of origin, whether it's North Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, West Africa, Central Africa. Everywhere you find the Africans, they have places and points of origin that they point to you that goes back to the Stone Age and to the times when the rocks were forming and this mountain were coming into existence. And some, they even point to you an existence that is older than some of these mountains that we have around here. So now, in the case of Bantu Soil Society, we're covering heritage site between Gauteng province and Limpopo province. So Gauteng, that is where you find Johannesburg, you find Pretoria, they're in Gauteng province. And then Limpopo province, that is where you find towns like Polokwane, that is where the Honorable Julius Malema come from, that is where I come from. Then you get towns like Makado, all the way to the ancient civilization of Mapungubwe is also found there, almost next to the borders of Zimbabwe and South Africa. So this particular ancestral walk heritage, we're covering 7 ancestral heritage sites, beginning with place of origin in Maruping, where they have the hominid, the Homo naledi, what they refer to as Homo naledi. And then from there, we go to Freedom Park Heritage Site Museum, where they are housing the Barberton Rock, which is the 3.5 billion years old specimen of life, a rock. And then they also having a museum there, which covers the 7 epochs, where they've divided the Southern African history with 7 epochs, including the epochs of colonization, the epochs of liberation struggle, going back to the beginning of time. So they covered them under the theme of 7 epochs. So it's a big heritage site. It's got the national shrine, the national ancestral shrine of South Africa, known as Isivivana, which is made of boulders that were picked up from 9 provinces of South Africa, and the 10th one, it is representing the international community, the African diaspora. So it is called Isivivana, which is the place, which is where we go. Usually we will be having our interfaith programs, different faith communities come together there, but largely led by practitioners of African spirituality and traditional healers. So the 2 of them are in Gauteng province. And then from them, we have another heritage site in Makapan Valley, where you get the proto-human and human origin at 3.5 billion years old, where we have about 3 caves, which we take you through those 3 huge caves, like you're getting right into the belly of the earth, where the ancestors first came out there and developed their Stone Age implements and tools and made out of rocks, And then from there, we'll take you to Bakoni Malapa Museum, which is a cultural museum of the Bakoni people who lived around Polokwane some hundreds of years back. So some of their establishment are still in place and they are ruins. And from there we go to the Tropic of Capricorn. That is where the line of latitude As you know, we have 3 lines of latitude: Tropic of Capricorn, the equator, and the Tropic of Cancer. So the Tropic of Capricorn is passing through our country in our province. So you have an ancestral shrine of the royal family of the Machaka family. And then we also take you through that. And then from there, we go up north, further north, we go to Zata Ruins, where Zata Ruins Museum, where they are housing the Bavenda ancient sacred drum called Ingoma Lugundu. Ngoma Lugundu, the story of it is almost like the story of the Ark of the Covenant, where the ancestors, when they were coming from Central Africa into Southern Africa, they were carrying this drum, this sacred drum that is not supposed to touch the ground, and it is carried by 6 young men who were all consecrated. They are not supposed to eat certain food, they are not supposed to indulge in certain behavior practices, and this drum, they're carrying it up with some poles. So when they go into sleep or what, they hang it on a tree, but it's not supposed to touch the ground. And whenever they're fighting with their enemy and they start to beat that drum, it creates confusion among the enemy. And whenever there is a desecration coming among the people, it also punishes the people who are custodian of it, with some diseases and so forth, if they violate the rules. So they call it the drum of God, the drum of Mwali, which God gave to them to travel with it. So there is kept in the museum there, where it is the ruins of Zata, but then they built a museum around, and then they documented the story of the Bavenda people. And then not far from there, we have the footprint of Mwali, the footprint of God, where you can, like I said, every size, you put your own feet there, it fit. A baby put his own feet, it fit. It just fit all sizes. And because God is all sizes, God is all people. God is the spirit that dwells in everyone's temple. So, and then you've got the breathing stone. And then from there we go up to the Mapungubwe civilization that took place around 900 years ago, where apparently when it was discovered in 1923, the University of Pretoria made cover-ups. They covered it up until the year 2002. And the reason why they covered it up, it was showing the evidence of Black civilization in South Africa. The gold, they have the golden scepter of the king who used to rule there, the settlement on top of the Mapungubwe hill, and the golden rhino that the people made there. So now, because the apartheid system, like all colonial system, it used to say there is no Black culture. This is just mumbo jumbo. There is no Black civilization. There is no Black anything of importance. So when they came across that, that there was an ancient civilization that was not only ancient, but that was trading with the Near East and the Far East, all the way to China and Arabia. You have the glass beads there, you have all of these other ornaments that were not made here, but that were found there as evidence of trade that used to take place. So they had to cover it up, because then it is contradicting their status quo position that we are uncivilized, and colonization was about civilizing, Christianizing, and commercializing of Africa, and the Africans. So, and then the final place we go, it is the Mojaji royal family, where the Rain Queen, the Southern African Rain Queen, the transformer of clouds, lives there. So this is a package that costs 12,000 rand. It is made up of 4 nights, 5 days. Each day we are going to these sacred sites. And then also it's covering accommodation, it's covering transportation for 4 nights and 5 days. And then we ending at the Rain Queen's sacred place by the royal family of the Balobedu, and then from there we drive back to Johannesburg. So for people who will be traveling from outside of South Africa to be part of this ancestral walk, they can always land at the OR Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. And then from there, the journey begins in Johannesburg. Then we go to the ancestral, the place of origin, where you find Homo naledi. And then we go to Pretoria Museum, the Freedom Park. That is the first day. The second day, and then on the same day we travel to Limpopo, and then we reach there, we sleep, and then the second day we go to Makapan Valley, there where you find the proto-humans and the humans evidence of origin that date back to 3.5 billion years ago. And then from there we go to Bakoni Malapa Museum, and then we pass through to the Tropic of Capricorn, and then we go and spend our second night in Venda in Makado. And then in the morning we go to Zata, where we have the sacred drum, Ngoma Lugundu. We go to the Mwali's footprint, the footprint of God, and the breathing stone. And then the third night the same night we travel, we go to Mapungubwe. The following day, then we do Mapungu, we sleep in Messina. The following day we do Mapungubwe. And then within that also there will be oral tradition taking place around the fire in the evening, where we'll be having different storytellers, including myself, and then also different storytellers from different villages that we will be coming across. There will be the elder mama or the elderly father of the place, who will also be teaching the stories of the people around there, our oral traditions. And then from there we sleep. In the morning we do the Mapungubwe Hill, and then the Mapungubwe Museum. And then after lunch we travel to Bolobedu. That is the fourth night, where we're going to sleep there in the morning, and then we do the Rain Queen's place, the Southern African Rain Queen, or the only Rain Queen actually in Africa, whom most kingdoms used to go, whether it's the Zulu kingdom, the warrior kingdoms, they used to go and request for rain from this queen, who then will give them rain, and then they will go and give her kettles, maize, whatever they pay tribute to her with. And then that will be the end of the journey. We travel back to Johannesburg, and then our visitors can then fly back to wherever they come from. So it's an ancestral walk. So we're going through ancestral heritage sites in 8 different places between Gauteng and Limpopo province, and it cost 12,000 rand, and it's 5 days. So yeah.
What is the start date?
What did I say? Yes, my lord.
What is the start date of the tour?
I'm struggling with I don't know if it is a network. I'm struggling to hear the. What did I say?
Breaking up.
Yes, there's some breakup in the sound. But what did I say now? Can you try it again?
Can you hear me?
I'm struggling to hear again. It's busy. It's breaking up.
I was asking when is the start date of the tour?
Okay. Give thanks, my lord. The tour starts on the 18th of December, 18th of December to the 22nd of December. It's from the 18th December to the 22nd. We figure that around the 18th of December, most people will be free from work and everything. They will be able to make the tour or to travel. So yeah, it is 18th December. And then of course our next and our other package is the online classes. So our online classes, we have 9 modules that the Bantu Soul Society is offering, which is African spirituality, number 1. And then we have African cosmology, African ontology, African epistemology, African psychology, African philosophy, African culture, African history, and African calendar that we are offering modules on these subjects. We're offering classes on this subject. We have developed these 9 modules. So we usually have online classes on Thursdays and Fridays, where you can visit our website, www.bantusoulsociety.org.za. That is where you can do the booking, online booking, and also select whatever class or whatever class you want to attend. And then from there, based on the booking, then we conduct our classes.
Are you able to hear me?
I hear you. I hear you, although a little bit cutting.
Okay. Well, if there was anything else you wanted to announce, the floor is free. But otherwise, we'll seal up since my connection is breaking up.
Yeah, I hear the connection is bad. I don't know if you can hear me very well, but yeah, when it comes from your side, it's kind of like breaking up. Well, yes, we're having classes, we're having workshops, we do several things. We do motivational speaking. We also do tours, in terms of touring talks. If one wants to make a booking for us to come, let's say in the US, within the African communities who are interested into in the Bantu Soul, in what the Bantu Soul Society is offering, we also do that. So we are flexible. We also travel and offer different subjects, yeah. So basically, those are several things. But for more information, because there are a couple of things that we do, for more information, we can just encourage our people to visit our website, www.bantusoulsociety.org.za, and they get information, more further information. Everything is there on our website, and also our TikTok spaces, and also our Facebook spaces. You can always get some information. Give thanks, my Lord, and give thanks to African Liberation Network for affording us this platform so that I can be able to communicate and engage with our family at home and abroad. So everyone are welcome to come and take the ancestral walk with us from the 18th of December to the 22nd of December. It's a 5 days ancestral walk, full of knowledge, full of history, full of culture, and just a path to reconnect us to our roots and culture. Give thanks. Blessed love.